How's it going, everybody? Tell me, do you have depression? Maybe you're a bit sad, maybe you're a bit miserable. Well, today I've got a comic that will not help you whatsoever, but it'll probably make you even worse, and that is The Hulk, The End. Now, The End was a short little what-if stint about what would happen to superheroes at the end of their careers, and this one has got to be the most saddest, the most depressing, the most miserable one to ever exist. And I'm going to talk about it because it's fun, and I like to share my misery with others, of course. Now, Hulk the End was written by the best Hulk writer to ever exist. And yes, I am saying better than Al Ewing. I love you, Al, but Peter David, he's just that much better. I'm sorry. Because without Peter David, we wouldn't have things like The Immortal Hulk, or Planet Hulk, or Joe Fixit. And I like Joe Fixit. So, Peter David, you're really on top. Al Ewing just slightly below, but I'm sure you'd like that. But yeah, it is written by him, and it is drawn by Dale Keown. Keown. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's drawn by this guy. He was also with Peter David during his run on the Hulk comics, and his art is absolutely fantastic. It is some of the best looking Hulk art I've ever seen. His drawing of the Hulk is one of the best. It's probably one of the most influential looks the Hulk has ever had. And I really like it, just like I like this comic. But yeah, let's just get into the comic and stop talking about the artistry, because this is what we need to talk about. The depressing, the sad story of what happened to Bruce Banner at the end. The entire story starts out with Bruce Banner, now 200 years old, just kind of walking back and forth on Earth. Why is he 200 years old? And why is he walking back and forth on Earth? Well, the entire Earth and all of its inhabitants have been killed off during nuclear war, with the exception, of course, of the Hulk and of giant mutated cockroaches, which is absolutely disgusting, and the Hulk does not like them, but we'll get into them in a second. But yeah, he's the only one alive. The Avengers, Spider-Man, the X-Men, they're all dead because of nuclear warfare. So like all of those villains who try to destroy the world or try to kill the superheroes, they all failed because they all ended up dying. So yeah, that's just super depressing. We're off to a great start here. Of course, the Hulk is the only one to survive because he can survive on any sort of radiation because his body just absorbs it naturally, and it just makes him stronger. And what the Hulk did once nuclear war was happening was he just dug himself into a cave and just waited until everybody died, because that's just how the Hulk is. He just doesn't like being around people and just waited for everybody to die. And like several hundred years later, he came out and there was a robot that came to confront them. Apparently they're from the Shi'ar and the Skrull and the other alien empires who were basically celebrating all of the humans' deaths because the aliens don't like the humans, unfortunately, and the robot is just like, oh shit, there's more of you guys. I thought you were all dead. Well, I'm just gonna leave this giant camera here so we could record when you die so that we can finally celebrate your guys' death and, you know, put it on a wall or a plaque or something. Yeah, this is really depressing. As I said before, they're just waiting for this dude to die. But unfortunately, the Hulk, and by extension Bruce Banner, is immortal because he cannot die because the Hulk doesn't want to die, and so they just kind of wander the Earth back and forth. And throughout this entire, ordeal that Bruce goes through, we get to see the inside of his mind and what he's thinking. And it's basically kind of like, ah! In reality, he's really just kind of depressed, talking about all of the friends he's missed, all of the people that, he would have hung out with, It's just him reminiscing on his life before and wishing what he could have done better and all those other things. Whereas the Hulk is totally fine with being alone. In fact, he loves it. He just hates that Banner is also alone with him. And of course, as I said before, giant cockroaches come out during like the noon or something and fucking eat up the Hulk. It is just absolutely gruesome how they just eviscerate him and take out his tongue and his eyes and ears and stuff like that. It's just disgusting to see this. Of course, the Hulk regrows back all of his organs and stuff because that's just how it is. But one thing Bruce noticed while this is happening is that it's going a bit slower than usual. And there's another thing that Bruce said at the start of this comic that really sticks with me, and that is, I'm feeling cold. Basically, Bruce can feel that he's actually dying, but the Hulk won't die. And see, Bruce, throughout this entire ordeal, has been trying to kill himself this entire time. Of course, as I said before, he can't do it because the Hulk doesn't want to die. He wants to stay alive. And to Bruce, this is absolute hell because he's just looking at the graves of what was his friends and his allies and stuff, and it's absolutely mentally destroying him from the inside. But now, finally, Bruce is realizing that his body can no longer live as long as it can. It is literally dying. His soul is literally leaving, but the Hulk doesn't want him to leave, or specifically the Hulk doesn't want to leave. So they kind of go into like a mental fight, and Bruce is trying to leave, and Bruce is trying to take the Hulk with him, whereas the Hulk doesn't want to leave, and, you know, they're just fighting for control, and finally, Bruce leaves. He fucking dies, finally, while the Hulk is stranded on Earth alone. And we get this really sad-looking scene of the Hulk saying, "Hulk is the strongest one there is. Hulk is the only one there is. Hulk feels cold." And it is absolutely fucking haunting. This is one of my favorite one-shots that Marvel ever put out. Now, there have been other The End one-shots before, and a little bit after this one came out, but I felt like it didn't really go as deep as this one, because A, it was written by a really good writer in Peter David, and B, I felt like the whole psychological aspects of it really elevated this one compared to the others, because it is just entirely Bruce's subconscious just talking about what went down and all of the things that's going on in his mind, basically all the illusions that he's seeing, basically feeling his body literally dying onto him and him not being able to do anything about it. It's genuinely some of the saddest shit I've ever read in my entire life. And it's fucking awesome. It is genuinely amazing. Sure, it's depressing, and sure, it ends on a really, really sad note, but like, it's super, super good, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Yeah, this one's gonna be a short video, obviously, but I just want people to realize this is one of the best comics ever, and it's a really short read, but it's so deep, and just like I said before, my Incredible Hulk review video on that one, it's a very simple story, but the themes are very complex, and it's true for this comic. The themes in this comic are very complex, and that it's talking more about mortality and, you know, all these other things. I can't really think about them right now because, as you could tell, this isn't exactly scripted, but like, it's really deep, and it really gets you thinking about your own mortality. It certainly got me thinking about it, and it's just, yeah, it's amazing, and I highly recommend it to everybody. You could probably read it online, legally, of course, or you could just buy it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure it's not really that expensive, so I highly recommend to read it. But yeah, that's it for today. I just wanted to gush over this comic, so like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I have an Instagram. You guys can follow me if you want, and that'd be really cool. So yeah, that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.